The Supreme Court ruled 9-0 that he had to be returned. But it has been debunked many times.
It's been debunked
yes,
by
it has.
liberal
It was
newspapers.
That's not true. No, he didn't.
Let me finish.
We've got some rather stunning news to cover, as the federal courts have now found probable cause to hold Trump and his administration in criminal contempt for defying a number of their rulings. So strap in, it's gonna get spicy. Leave us a like on this video if you can. It helps us out a ton. We appreciate it, and let's hop right in.
He's illegal. He's from El Salvador. He's in El Salvador now. No local district court judge has the right to say to the United States, you better go over there. What are we going to do? Send SEAL Team 6 over to the prison in El Salvador and bring this guy back? He doesn't belong here. He's illegal. He came here illegally. Immigration court said, get your tail out of this country. And now the Democrats are freaking out. This guy, Van Halen, this senator, he should be ashamed of himself. If you want to go over there and you want to check on an illegal who is in this country illegally and is a member of MS-13, and you don't want to talk about Rachel Morin, who is from your state.
He did.
This is an example.
Today.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Today he figured out he should.
No, he didn't.
Let me finish. Okay? This is the problem. We've got people who belong in Congress, who've been elected to Congress, who are worried about illegal criminals and not worried about American citizens like Joe Biden. And that's the reason we're in this mess in the first place. Start caring about American citizens.
It's so obviously purposeful, all from the guy who promised he would follow court orders, from the party who promised that we wouldn't destroy democracy, and the left is crazy. Where we see that the second courts aren't in his favor, they're now included in the conspiracy of woke radicals and anti-Trump, and it's okay for him to defy them, all because upholding the Constitution over the president, it's so radical. But I'm glad that the proper action has been taken. If any of us defied not just one, but numerous court orders in the way that Trump has, we would surely be in jail. So allowing Trump to do it scot-free only emboldens him to take bigger steps next time he does it. I mean, this is democracy on the line. We're not joking. It's the American experiment on the line. We can't just roll over and let it be lost. And I applaud the courts. I applaud the institutions like Harvard, the ones who are willing to push back and take the fight to Trump.
There is no proof that he was an MS-13 member, and it has been debunked many times.
Yes, it has. It was newspapers.
That's not true.
Court of law, section I-113 or 123 is reliable, verifiable proof that you were a member of a gang, and he was never able to rebut it.
It was based on double hearsay testimony and also a detective who was indicted merely weeks later for providing confidential information to a sex worker. He was also allegedly an alcoholic. That's how we got into this. But the point is that this man has been living in this country, out in public, meeting on an annual basis with his DHS caseworker. He goes in once a year. He talks to them. They know where he works. He's an on-the-books worker. This is not somebody who is a gangbanger. This is not somebody who has committed any other crime besides being here in this country. And he came here also based on credible threat of being murdered by a gang at home who was threatening his entire family.
What does it for me isn't even where people fall on the whole deportation debate, but the willingness for MAGA to throw away crucial freedoms or protections that we the people have against the government just in the name of supporting Trump. Like, Trump is not only openly defying the courts, but doing it in like a coy way, as if to make a mockery of it, or as if it's something that he places himself above, like a king or a dictator. But this is while he is using that power to crush due process, to crush free speech. And all MAGA could say about it is, well, the courts should have less power. But that's not how the Constitution is set up, right? And it's for good reason as well. We don't anoint kings in this country.
The reason that Democrats are talking about the fact that anyone could, quote unquote, be disappeared is that you can see a full-blown constitutional crisis playing out in front of our eyes. The Supreme Court ruled 9-0 that he had to be returned. President Bukele is lying when he says that he can't get him back. We know that he can return people because he returned people from the original shipment. There were women that were sent there, and he said, oh, no, you shouldn't be here. And there were some Venezuelans that he didn't want. He said, okay, you shouldn't be here, and he shipped them on back. They think that it's funny. Getting that hot mic moment where Donald Trump and the El Salvadorian president are talking, they're kind of loitering around at the front of the Oval Office, where they're joking about, like, oh, wouldn't it be great if you could take our homegrown ones? You cannot legally send Americans to an El Salvadorian prison camp, no matter what they have done. Senator Kennedy was on our air earlier this afternoon with Sandra and John and said as much.
Something worth mentioning, when Biden was in office, you have to remember how big of a win Republicans said it was when the federal courts blocked him from blanket forgiving student loans. Then when Biden used existing programs to forgive some, but nowhere near all, and not in a blanket fashion, student debt, Republicans acted like he was a dictator who was defying the courts, which are the sanctity of this country, and it was huge government overreach and blah, 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 blah. Even though Biden completely complied with the court order. It's hilarious now that those same Republicans are defending Trump, directly defying court orders, and doing it numerous times, not even just once. Literally every accusation from these MAGA clowns is a confession. When they fall out of power, they just project what they would do onto Democrats in hopes that it makes them unpopular, because it's what made Republicans unpopular, only to turn around and then actually do it themselves. This is the constitutional crisis that the left warned you about unfolding before our eyes. It's the destruction of democracy the left warned you about now happening before our eyes. It's the fascism that the left promised. It's here.